Welcome back to Ravens Today. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you everything and all things Ravens news-wise and rumor-wise. Let's dive into what I've been hearing this week is that there probably won't be a reunion with Jadeveon Clowney. This is because, according to rumors, that the Ravens have a mix of vets and rooks. They don't really see adding another presence there is going to change anything. You know, they have Kyle Van Noy, who's on his last year on his contract. They have Odafe Owe, who has had some experience under his belt, and he's had a great developmental year last year with 10 sacks in one season. And now they have Mike Green, who they want to see succeed, who they want that, you know, they wanted David Ojabo to bring what he brought from college into the NFL, but unfortunately that hasn't happened. They want to see that out of Mike Green. And adding Jadeveon Clowney in that mix, according to the Ravens, just doesn't make sense. I think it makes perfect sense. Jadeveon Clowney had a great year with the Ravens. He had 9.5 sacks. He, had a career resurgence with the Ravens. Then he goes to the Panthers, doesn't do much there. But I don't see why not. Sign him to a 1-year vet minimum deal. It's little to lose if he doesn't go right. I think that Jadeveon Clowney brings a level of mentorship, a level of veteran presence there. He worked great with Kyle Van Noy during that 2023 historical Ravens season. Why not? I think this, he could retire a Raven. I think that this would be great. In terms of, if it works out, we have another veteran pass rusher who's able to, produce well, provide some mentorship to the most notably the rookie Mike Green, and still got some gas left in the tank. I think that the Ravens should definitely have some talks with him about it. Look at him and say, listen, we aren't going to sign you to a mega contract, but we can give you a 1-year vet minimum, and you could help us win a Super Bowl. And then his career goes into the sunset. That's just me. But again, I'm not a contract negotiator, and please don't put me down for that because I'd probably be horrible at it. Moving on, Derrick Henry addressed the media about his deal. He said that he was extremely grateful for the Ravens organization. He called it a brotherhood, and that he loved being beside every Ravens player on his first year as a Raven, and he wanted to stay on the Ravens for years to come. When he was asked, would this be the last contract he would be signing and he would retire after this, he didn't really answer. He said it was pretty an unsure kind of answer for him. He didn't want to answer that, and I get it. Players don't want to know when their time is up. If you know you're still doing well and you're still able to produce at a high level, no matter how old you are, they don't want to say, this is it. It's like, they could say it's mental fatigue. They could say, like their body can't handle it anymore. But Derrick Henry spends $250,000 on his body. So I think he's going to be okay for a few more years. I want to see Derrick Henry retire a Raven, and, the way he's like vocally supports the Ravens organization. I wish we got him when he was drafted. But that's not what we were looking for at the time. And I just think that, Derrick Henry as a Raven just fits well. And, him just mentioning how it's a brotherhood with the organization is just amazing to see. And I just want him to be able to retire a Raven whenever that's going to be, whenever he decides. Moving on, speaking of contract negotiations, by the way, according to John Harbaugh, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson have begun their contract negotiations. They've been working on it. Hasn't been going too well, according to a cryptic social media post by Lamar, where you take it one or two ways here, but he wasn't very. It didn't look very promising. It's the dance that Lamar does with the Ravens. It happened when the contract negotiations were underway for the first contract. And, he asked for that trade. And This is just a tactic by Lamar. Like, this is something that he's doing to, raise the price tag. I'm not worried about it at all. We've done it before. We've signed Lamar. We can for sure do it again. It is inevitable that he's going to retire and his jersey number will be on the rafters. Again, not worried about this. Like, this is, the Ravens are going to cough up the dough, and whatever deal they come to will be the deal that Lamar Jackson deserves. I know why the Ravens are doing this, like I've mentioned in previous videos, because his cap hit is going to be big. It's going to be $74 million. It's big. In order to negate that and lower it, they have to sign him to a contract. He still has 2 more years on his contract, but by signing him to another deal, it helps us with keeping other players. I think Lamar knows that, but I also think that he knows his worth. But again, not worried about this. This will happen either this offseason by the end of the summer, or it'll happen sometime in the offseason next in 2026. Again, not worried. Also, on a brighter news, the Ravens are considered in the PFF quarter century team are one of the most consistent teams that the NFL has ever seen at the 25-year mark. They have 4 players on the PFF quarter century team. They have Ray Lewis, greatest of all time. Ed Reed, greatest of all time. Sorry, Steelers. Not really. Sorry. Ed Reed was probably one of the greatest safeties ever over Troy Polamalu. Marshall Yanda, one of the greatest offensive linemen the Ravens have ever had. And Derrick Henry. Look at the accolades Derrick Henry has over the course of his career. Now he's a Raven. He's probably going to, break all the Ravens franchise rushing records by the end, but I'm shooting too far. But you have Ed Reed, one of the greatest safeties ever, over Troy Polamalu. Ray Lewis, greatest middle linebacker of all time, hands down. When him and Ed Reed were together, it was lights out. And Marshall Yanda, one of the greatest offensive linemen that we've ever had. It's just that when you see a quarter century team like this, with your team having more than one player, it speaks volumes about your culture. It just tells the NFL, tells the fan base and it tells future NFL players that this team is where you want to go, because we have developed such good players. We have a great culture, and we have a great coach behind us, and we are very passionate about winning games, and we are very passionate about our players and making sure that they are taken care of. But just a little bit of a kind of like a hey, we're just a better team look. But of course, I'm just floating the Ravens ego a little bit here for the end of the show. Thank you for tuning into the Ravens Today show. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will keep you guys updated with any and all things Ravens. Have a good one, everyone.